Bookcase and Coffee presents Drinks with the Bees, a quick shot of romance.
Welcome to A Quick Shot of Romance. I'm Becky from bookcaseandcoffee.com, and with me this time is Leah from ZT_book_romance on Instagram. Welcome back to the podcast, Leah.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Hey, everybody.
So on this episode of A Quick Shot of Romance, we are reviewing Hammered by Jasinda Wilder. This is book 1 in the Dad Bod Construction series. So go ahead. Sorry, my brain went kind of crazy there for a minute. Leah, go ahead and read us the synopsis from Goodreads.
Okay. Dad Bod Contracting. For all your domestic contracting needs. Have a leaky faucet or clogged disposal? Need a new patio with intricate brick-paving designs? Want your garage transformed into a yoga studio? Dad Bod Contracting has you covered. Our clean, well-mannered, and friendly professionals pride themselves on attention to detail. Every job comes with a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. No job is too small. Hand us your honey-do list and we'll get it done. And we'll look good doing it. A good job well done is one phone call away. So call Dad Bod Contracting today. It started with a window that was jammed shut. Pretty simple, right? All I wanted was to open the windows while I tidied the house. I'd been after my no-good husband to do it for months, but he never did. And then he shacked up with his secretary, leaving me with a pile of bills, husband-free for the first time in 10 years, and with a house that was falling apart. The ad popped up on the side of my social media feed, a local contracting agency willing to do pretty much anything. Since I don't really know a screwdriver from a ratchet, I give them a call. And let me tell you, the ad was not lying. Jesse O'Neill can do it all and looks amazing doing it. He fixed my window, so I called him back to fix the sagging, splintering front steps, which led to him fixing my kitchen sink, and then he recarpeted my stairs, and then he fixed the squeak in my bed. He was supposed to fix my house, not my rusty, sputtering libido, and certainly not my broken heart.
Release date was June 27th of 2018, so this has been out for a minute. It's an instant connection. I put mature loved because these are established middle-aged characters. They're both in their 40s. They both have jobs and careers. So not a lot. I mean, there was some immature issues, and we'll talk about that, but overall, functioning adults. So I put mature love. Second chance at love. This is not a second chance romance. This is like a second chance to find love. And then the main character, Imogene, she is a divorcee. And I'd say the steam level in this was a 3 out of 5. There was some heavy flirting. Lots of dirty talking, but not a ton of really gritty, steamy sex.
No, and not for a while. Like it was nothing.
Slow burns. It's slow burns.
I feel like a 3 is valid because it was really slow and then it got really intense. So like overall, like yeah, definitely a 3.
So let's, we're just gonna start talking about these characters. Let's start with Imogene. She is the nurse. She is a nurse. She's a divorcee. She's the one who breaks her kitchen window. When Jasinda describes her like with, the screwdriver trying to get it like and the hammer, I thought I might have done this at one time, but I never broke a window. But
I can honestly say that I have never done that, but living with an ex-contractor, I don't have to worry about things like that.
Right. I mean,
I have my dad bod right at home.
There you go. I do love the name of this series. I do want to say that really quickly. I love that they're the Dad Bod Construction. When this book came out, it was kind of the start of the craze of the Dad Bod. There were those Dad Bod onesies that were all over the place and stuff. And Jessie is the main character of this book, and this is totally a friend series. There's 4 books in this series. And the owner of Dad Bod Construction, his name is James Bod. And so you learn why they decided to call it Dad Bod in his book, but it's pretty funny. So I thought that was funny. So Imogene, divorcee, she, I liked her. I did like her character.
I liked her too. I think like she is in this moment where like her life is exploded and
Yeah.
not in a good way. And she's just really lost because was in this relationship she was married for a long time. And then things just went to hell, like for the
Well,
lack of
and as we
a
go through the story, I mean, we learned that her ex-husband was not, nobody liked him. Her family didn't really like him. Her friend did not like him. The ex-husband, that he just was kind of always a little bit of a, what do they call him? The douche canoe,
a
I
douche
think.
canoe. Yes.
Yes. Um, because he like, and he's had multiple affairs on her. He had
Uh-huh.
an affair with the science teacher. He's a high
Well,
school assistant principal.
in the way it reads, like he's having this affair with the secretary, but then the science teacher at the same time.
Yeah.
It's there's just affairs everywhere.
Well, and she struggled with some fertility issues, and you learn about that pretty quickly on. And they bought this house because that's what he wanted to buy. But it's totally a project house. Like,
Yes.
and the ex-husband never did anything. And Imogene is, she works her ass off and she doesn't really know how to do anything. So she's just kind of left
Well,
with this house.
and anytime like she talked about things on the house, like let's do this, he's like, oh, we can wait. And like you find out like she had been just saving her money and he took it all. And so she has no savings to put towards fixing the house now that he's gone.
Yeah. And then in comes Jessie from Dad Bod Construction to fix her window. And so one of the things that I really like this series and that I often recommend this series for people for is because of the body types. Jesse's 44. He has a little bit of a belly, but he's in shape. Scraggly long beard, longer hair. It mentions that he's in a band. One and we don't really we don't learn much about the band or anything like that in the book. It's just kind of a hobby he has.
Yeah, just they play at local bars every once in a while.
Yeah, yeah. But overall, he comes in to fix this window for her, and he thinks she's beautiful. Like he is almost instantly attracted to her. And Imogene struggles, I think, with that quite a bit because she does have this self-doubt and that she doesn't feel she's desirable. Like her desirability isn't big.
Right. And her ex-husband was a big factor in that because like he would make comments about how like she was gaining weight or this or that, but like the fertility stuff. And then she really lost her sense of like self-worth for a little while.
Yeah. And Jesse is just like, he's like, hello, I think you're beautiful.
Uh-huh.
And he's totally a good guy. And I know that you struggled a little bit with us not being able to hear his side of the story because this is written in Imogene's first person, only her voice. We do not get dual point of view in this story.
Whatsoever.
Yeah. So, but I feel like we kind of did know Jesse a little bit.
I didn't feel like we didn't know him. I feel like in the scenes that he was in, like he shared, he was open in those moments. There were moments in the book though where I really wanted to see like what he was thinking, like not just his reaction, but like after like the big blow up, how was he internalizing and what was he internalizing? And like you knew exactly how she felt and like but you got nothing from that until later in the story. I wanted more from it.
And I don't think that we get a really clear-cut picture as to all that is troubling Jesse because we don't learn the story. Something comes to pass between so James Bod that owns the construction company is his brother-in-law. James was married to Jesse's older sister.
Right.
And we learn about that relationship, and somehow that relationship has affected how Jesse looks at relationships. And we don't really even see a lot of insight in this story. I did make the statement because after I talked to you a little bit, I do, as I've read this book now for the second time, I feel like this story was really written to set up the next 3 stories.
Right.
Because you felt like this story was not finished.
No, like I feel like we got a happily for now. Like we didn't get that full happily ever after. Like it wasn't disappointing since there are more stories, but they almost like are marketed as a standalone. So it's like you read one story, you get that full story, and the people are dispersed through the rest of the series without like being a major factor. But I didn't feel like you could read the second book without reading this book at all. Like you had to read because
And I would agree with that. While it doesn't
in,
end on a cliffhanger, you do
right.
need to read book 1 to understand, because so book 2 is Audra, who is Imogene's best friend, and we get to know her a little bit in Imogene and Jesse's book, and you kind of learn that she's a little cold-hearted and not interested in having sex. She's not interested in having a relationship. She just
Right.
wants to have sex. And she is the same age as Imogene, so 40, but she tends to date younger men who are stupid that she can manipulate.
Yeah.
And now I do think, after I talk to you, I do see some issues between some of the things Audra says totally affect the choices and the decisions that Imogene makes and how to handle her attraction to Jesse.
Yeah.
And that is bothersome, that it makes you not like Audra.
I felt like she could be a great friend, like in certain aspects, but I did not feel like there were moments in this book where I didn't like her and she was not supportive whatsoever of the decisions that were made and the way things happened. Like, I don't feel like Imogen was fully at fault for what happened. Yes, like maybe she misconstrued how things occurred, but I mean, I don't fault her for that, but
even after some of the heavy flirting, and even after the night where they both get really intoxicated and Jesse is totally a stand-up guy and is like, we are too drunk to make any choices. I
right.
know I want you, and I know you want me, but I don't want to do anything that in the morning either one of us are going to regret.
Yeah.
Had I told that story to my best friend, I would hope that my best friend would drag me by my hair over to the guy's house and be like, hello. And instead, Imogene was just, she let a week pass. She let all this time pass.
Yeah.
And Audra didn't stick up for her and say, listen, go get your man. You're being stupid. She just, and that was bothersome. I feel like Imogene needed somebody, a voice, to be like, girl, get your head out of your butt. Get you going.
Yeah, she needed that support, and I don't think that she got that.
No, I don't think so either. So this isn't a super long story. I think it was a quick, fast read. I think I had it done in, a couple hours.
Yeah, it wasn't overly long.
So a couple things. So we mentioned that you didn't like that the story felt a little unfinished. And I will say, through the next 3 books, you do get a little bit more of Imogene and Jesse's story. But I was kind of sucked in a little bit. I do want to know their stories.
Yeah, I definitely I need to finish the rest of the series now, because I need, you got enough snippets of James and what his life is like, so I need to read his book because I want to see what happens with him. And there's a setup for the next book in this one. It's I need to know what happens after that text was sent and that picture was sent. I need to know now.
Well, and when Audra and Imogene show up on, and I do want to talk a minute about so Dad Bod Construction is doing this huge home build or renovation. I think maybe it's a renovation.
I think it's a renovation. Yes.
For a doctor that ends up becoming Imogene's boss, because in the midst of all of this, Imogene has kind of a bit of
on a whim.
She quits her job on a whim. On a whim. I almost want to say she has this moment of clarity of I need to change. My life is crap. I have nothing, and it's starting with my job. Moving forward. And I don't know if it's bright, shiny new windows that helped her see clearly or what. But so this doctor is redoing this huge house, and I was a little worried in the book, like when she's going to work for this doctor, I thought, this doctor can't make up her mind about what kind of windows she wants. And she seems to be throwing money like, she's got millions of it. And then Imogene and Audra show up on the construction site at one part of the book. And I will say there's a really good sexy, steamy scene, in my opinion, when they do come on site.
Yes. Yes.
That was very nice. But also saying that this doctor, like, she's like a little chaotic with all the stuff she wants done on that house.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I want to build a house like that.
I just want to have somebody do it for me instead of do that stuff myself.
True story. True story. Okay, was there anything else in the book you wanted to make sure we brought attention
I
to?
think we went over everything that like stuck out for me.
Okay, so the question, did you like the book?
I did. I liked the book. I would have preferred 2 points of view, but I would read it again. And I would recommend it too. Like, I read this good book. You should try it.
Who would typically like this book?
Honestly, I think anybody would. Like, if you like a contemporary romance, like, you would like this book.
I think, there is some flirting, there is some dirty talk, but it's not like in your face crazy sexy. It is very readable. It's good characters. The characters do have movement through the story. So if you really want good quality characters that are going to have growth and show growth through the whole story, this works. Storyline is a little short, again, because we feel a little unfinished, but that's going to make us buy book 2. So
right.
I do know these are in my library. So local people, they are in our library. Okay. So, and you said you'd recommend this?
I would, yes.
Yeah, I think I would too. Like I said, I really love this whole series because all the body types are different. This is one of the few times that we read contemporary romance where, like, Imogene is a fuller figured girl with big butts, or with a big butt and big boobs. Audra is a fitness lady that's a little shorter. And the guys that we've seen described are, one is short but muscular. Jesse is tall and got a little bit of a pouch. And Franco is tall and skinny.
Yeah.
So
they're all realistic. Like, it's not the same body type for every single like guy. It's not like exact replicas each book.
Yeah. I just feel like these books have real characters. I love a billionaire romance. I love it. But this one was real life, and it was well done because I don't feel like their problems in their real life, while some of them shadow and mimic my problems in my real life, they were such that it was relatable and an escape.
Yes, definitely.
So, okie doke. Well, thank you for joining us for this quick shot of romance. Cheers, everyone. Till next time.
Bye.
Find us on Instagram at Drinks with the Bees or on Twitter at Bees Drinks. If you like the podcast, please leave a review. If you'd like to support us directly, join our Patreon and receive exclusive content only available to Patreon members. Check out bookcaseandcoffee.com for our on-the-shelf show notes.